Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Here it is. This is the new project. It's 2021 Lexus GX460. So let's get into it. It's black. Then my favorite part about it is the red leather interior. And it's got the option with the captain's chair rear seats. Kind of dirty. It's black, so it'll always be dirty. But there it is. So today I'm gonna get started throwing the Icon Stage 2 lift kit on it, and then the wheels and tires. I am going to have to cut the front fender liners and the side skirts because I'm going to keep the side skirts for now until I do rock sliders. So I'm going to have to cut those and mod them to make the tires fit in the front and the rear. Everything should bolt up. The front lift is going to be about a 2.5 inch to 2 3/4 inches of front lift, and then the rear is a 2-inch rear spring. So it should have a little less rake than it does from the factory in the front to back. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do for today, and then hopefully I'll tell you more about the plans of it later. I'm going to kind of do a quick showing you of how to do it, but I'm going to go over in this video because everybody knows how to. I mean, you can take the suspension off, you can put it back on, but these trucks have the KDSS system, which is like a hydraulic sway bar setup. So I want to go over, a lot of people get worried about installing lifts with those, and there's some aspects of it that make installing the lift kit a little harder. So I want to go over some of that stuff after I get the lift installed and tell you the different things I ran into and how to address the issues that the KDSS brings up. I installed a lift on the 4Runner that has the KDSS option as well, Felicia's 4Runner, but I had a lot of issues with the KDSS that I didn't know these tricks. So I'm gonna try these tricks out, and then I'm gonna get back to you guys and tell you how they work. So stay tuned. Alright everyone, front is done. I'm going to go over some things that are necessary for the front to kind of help you out. If you've never done this before, this is my second time with the KDSS. I found some things that kind of helped, but it was mainly just like I did at first. So the first thing I'm going to go over is there's an accumulator for the KDSS system on the side of the truck. It's on the driver's side. If you go under, there's this cover. It looks like this. This cover with 2 bolts. It's right under the driver's side door. It's covering this accumulator block for the KDSS. And I marked the bolts with a line, and I loosened them 2 turns, 2 full turns each bolt. And that's supposed to deactivate the KDSS system and give you a little bit more play for moving up the suspension up and down with the KDSS system. It seemed to help a little bit. The driver's side's easy. It's always easy because that's where the ram is on that side. But the passenger side is fixed, so that's usually where you have the trouble. And once again, that's where I had the trouble with this. So we'll look at that again real quick, show you kind of what I did. But we got everything installed. You do have to pull the battery to get the bolt out for the upper control arm through here, and then there's a little bolt right here for the wiring harness. It's for the power cable that makes it easier. And then you have to pull this piece so you can get to the bolt under here, and then there's a little AC line that's a bolt, you'll can't miss it when you go to pull it out. It'll be in the way, so you just got to take it. It's a little 10mm bolt. So here you go. So here's what I did. See this arm right here? I took those bolts completely out. I tried to loosen them and leave them hooked up, because before I took them all the way out and it was a pain in the butt to get the line back up. Same thing this time. So what I did was I took them all the way out because I couldn't. I got the shock in by prying down on the lower control arm, but I couldn't get the bottom in with the bolt tight, or with the bolt through for the lower section. So I had to take that all the way down, and then if you look up here, so let me see if I can get a better view for you guys. So here's the bracket. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Okay, so here's the bracket from the driver's side, but this is the passenger side bracket. It's just from viewing it from the driver's side. You see up here there's a pivot bolt. You have to loosen this pivot bolt when you go to line this back up, so then you can move the arm around. But that's the easiest way I've found to do it. And then you jack back up on the middle of the bar to lift it up to get it back in place. But keep rubbing up against the paint, scratching it. So that's the front. The rear hopefully is a little more straightforward. We'll see. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about the front before I started the rear, but the front is done. Like I said, there's a couple painful spots, but that's normal with KDSS vehicles. Post in the comments if there's an easy way somebody figured out, but that seems to be the easiest way, and it took me about an hour and a half to do the fronts start to finish, so not too bad. But all right, let's start the rear. Everyone, rear suspension's done. Sorry, it's kind of hot out here today. Everything went smooth with the whole KDSS. All I did was, I'll show you, I disconnected the rear sway bar from the two mounting points, which you can see right there and right there. And then I used the jack to jack up on the corner of the axle to line them back up when I put it back together. Besides that, everything went together pretty smooth for the rear, and now I'm just waiting on Amazon to get here for my lug nuts. I totally forgot to order them, so I ordered them last night, and they should be here any minute now, and then we can get a finished look at the at the GX, not a 4Runner. So close enough though. So any comments? Like I said, if there's an easier way, I'll probably end up doing one more of these things soon. It turned out pretty good though, in my opinion, loosening the accumulator bolts to deactivate the system. They say when you put it back together that you put it on the ground and let it settle for a minute, and then you tighten those back up 2 turns, those 2 screws, so when it's back on the ground. I don't think it matters when you disconnect them. I did it when it was up in the air, but whenever you reconnect them, you put it down on the ground, so then it levels itself out. All right, so let's wait for lugs to get here, and then we get to see what the wheels look like and see how much I got to chop up. All right, everyone, truck is done. I'll show you some of the things I had to modify at the end to make the tires clear, but everything went smooth. Like I said, I had some issues with the front KDSS, but I kind of knew I'd have those issues. But here's the final look of it. Turned out pretty good. But here, let me grab the pieces and show you. So the first thing is, right here, I don't know if you can see it very well, I had to cut off 2 inches exact. I measured from the inside of the side step in here and cut 2 inches, and it worked out pretty good. No rubbing now. And then in the front, there's these flaps that sit at the bottom. I cut those and I don't rub now. So the wheels are 17 by 8.5 plus 0. So I think that has a lot to do with helping it not hit. I don't know how the lighting is right now, but if there's any issues, we'll just re-tape it and I'll show you guys a little better. If anybody has any issues, just message me and I can try and help you fit it. But there you go again. The truck is done. Pretty happy with it. The ride is pretty good. It doesn't drive as smooth as stock. It's a little stiffer, but you get that with aftermarket suspension. So, all right, thanks for watching, and until next video.